All right, uh, check this out. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you a prediction for what's going to happen with coronavirus in about 6 months to a year. And this is coming down the pike. So if you want to know about the future, just stay with me for a minute. So there's going to be a new variant coming out that's going to be even worse than the Delta variant and the Indian variant. And it's going to come out probably from South Africa or the Philippines or Indonesia or basically another country that have a similar density as one of those three countries. Maybe Philippines might be a little bit less likely. Indonesia is a high prime candidate. And this variant is going to be worse than the Delta variant for sure. And the reason why this is going to happen is, well, maybe Mexico too. Mexico is not a possibility. But the reason why there's going to be a new variant that's going to be even worse than Delta right now from one of those countries is because of how the Brazil variant and the Indian variants evolved and took over. So the reason why the Delta variant, the Indian variant, is so lethal and spreading so quickly is because of the particular environment that India was in. Now, when the Brazilian variants emerged and started ravaging Brazil, I took a look at the demographics comparison because at the time, I thought, and then many people thought that India was going to be where things were really going to get bad. And I took a look at demographic, and it turned out that Brazil had an older population than India, and their obesity was a little bit higher in Brazil compared to India. And therefore, in India at the time, we now know that in India back then, they also had a lot of coronavirus, a lot of COVID infections, but it wasn't as bad as Brazil at the time, around the same time, because they had a younger population. So the problem didn't seem as severe back then. But what happened in India was that enough people got infected, so many people got infected from the original COVID that they had achieved herd immunity. And therefore, of course, the coronavirus kept spreading anyway. And therefore, that was the perfect environment for a more lethal variant to evolve and to take over. And that's why it started in India, the Delta variant, because they had to be more lethal to be able to infect the people who were already had immunity from the original variant. And it took them about a little bit over 6 months for the Delta variant to fully evolve, to take over, and then start spreading to the rest of the world. So the prediction is that this is going to happen again. It's going to happen coming out of maybe Indonesia, which is a very likely candidate, or Mexico or Philippines or South Africa. Those countries are also being ravaged right now by the Delta variant, and they're going to achieve herd immunity, and they're going to continue to spread, and therefore they're going to get a much more lethal variant coming out of one of those countries. And then, of course, it's continuing the global pandemic for the next wave. So that's where you're going to watch out and pay attention to what's going on. And I'm going to be right. You're going to find out in 6 months or so that this is happening. It's happening right now. All right. So have a good night. And remember, Jimmy Woo is always giving you tomorrow's news today. So go ahead and hit that like button, thumb up, and spread the word. Pass it on. Good night.